Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video. And in this video, I'll be profiling a little bit of this article from AmericanMilitaryNews.com titled Army Vet Warns Americans Are Stockpiling for Food Disaster. And hey, a food disaster is coming. Famines, food shortages, and mass death because of them are all in the scriptures and all a part of the biblical prophecies that are going to be taking place in the last days, which we're currently living in. Hey, really the last seconds of the last days, the times of Jacob's trouble, when Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai is going to judge the people on this planet for the wickedness they've been committing, is quickly coming upon us. And if you have that spiritual eye salve, you can clearly see that something major is right around the corner. Talks of World War III and the use of nuclear weapons, dis-ease X, civil war in the United States of America. We could go on and on. But before we get into this article, I'm going to get a few precepts. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. And this is Yahushai, the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, telling his disciples in the past of the end time signs to look for, to know that the end of the rulership of the heathen nations was near, and that his second coming was nigh. And while he spoke to his disciples in the past, he was really speaking to his disciples today who are living in these times, the elect of the nation of Israel, the nation of Israel consisting of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who look like these heathens. But as it reads, for nation shall rise against nation, racial tensions, which there will be, race wars, especially in the United States of America. You can see everybody's on edge, with these racial tensions boiling just beneath the surface. Kingdom against kingdom, Russia against the U.S., Europe against Russia, Russia against Ukraine, the state of Israel against Iran, China against Taiwan, the U.S. against China. And there shall be famines and pestilences, dis-ease X, that situation, whatever your opinion is of it, from 2019 to 2021. Now they're talking about a resurgence of the bubonic plague and earthquakes in diverse places, which earthquakes are happening damn near daily all across the planet. But as it says, there shall be famines. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. We're just in the beginning stages of everything right now. It's going to get only worse from here on out. Apostle Tahar has deemed 2024 to be the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And hey, that statement has a lot of weight behind it. And with the way things are looking, hey, we're one, situation away from this powder keg exploding. But now I'm going to go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16 in the Apocrypha. I'm going to start at verse 18. The beginning of sorrows, again, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, which a lot of great death is going to come from those famines, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? For one, got to be an Israelite. And hey, for two, you better hope you're of that elect number so you can have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai around you to save you from these calamities of Jacob's trouble. Behold, famine, mentioned the second time, and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, scourges for correction, scourges for punishment. And this is speaking to you Israelites out here. Everything, our people have gone through has been Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai punishing us for our disobedience in order for us to get right. But our people just continue to wax worse and worse. And it's only that elect remnant that's taken heed to these words. And hey, as the situation, continues to get worse out here, hey, a lot of you jakes, you're still not going to see these, calamities as scourges for amendment. You're just going to wax harder and harder and get more rebellious. So when that judgment truly hits, there's going to be no mercy given to you. Verse 20, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals, food, water, these creature comforts these people have shall be so good cheap upon the earth, which we can see this is no longer being the case with inflation, which is going to turn to hyperinflation. And you just wait as more and more nations, dump that US dollar, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, like a thief in the night. Sword, famine for the third time, and great confusion. Here's the kicker right here. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So if you manage not to starve to death, one of these other calamities is going to get you. You get caught up in this civil unrest, these racial skirmishes, these martial law troops gun you down in the streets during a state of martial law. You get sent to one of these detention centers and tortured to death, or ultimately, you get burned up by those nuclear missiles once they get shot to the ends of the earth during World War III. And everybody in the United States of America that isn't of that elect number, the nation of Israel, is going to be fuel for the fire of those nukes. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, shit, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. And there's going to be so much death, destruction, and so many dead bodies laying around that people are going to become numb to it and step over that dead body and not give a second thought to it, like they don't give a second thought to that turd that they flushed down the toilet. But now let's get into that article. Because, hey, food disasters, food insecurity, famines are all coming, and the United States of America is not exempt. The United States of America is going to receive the worst judgment because this place, which is biblically known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures, is the bedrock of wickedness on the planet Earth that all these different wicked lifestyles and philosophies are emanating from. But a United States Army veteran recently warned that Americans are increasingly stockpiling food supplies for potential emergencies or doomsday disasters as the threat of food instability continues to loom. Jason Nelson, a disabled U.S. Army combat veteran, Texas congressional candidate, and founder of Prepper All Naturals, recently told Fox Business, most people are concerned not just about the larger conflicts, but I think that they are concerned about the price of current goods, and they see the availability of things, shrinkflation, if you will, those victuals no longer being cheap. And I think people are becoming more and more aware of just how precarious their access to those items are. I'll jump down to this paragraph here. Nelson added, so even whether it be a creature comfort or a basic necessity, I think that the awareness overall broadened during the C019, and of course, exacerbated right now because people, once they started paying attention to the supply chain, which the powers that be, the elites such as the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, have been intentionally disrupting the supply chain to get you people desperate out here that order out of chaos, mess with the food supply, things, store shelves become empty, people become desperate and fight each other, and then they come with that solution. Hey, we're rebooting the system into a digital cashless society where you need to accept this CHIP IMPLANT, which of course is the MARKOFTHEBEAST in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, that you can buy and sell again, that you can eat and feed your family. They're able to connect the dots between, for example, the breadbasket in Ukraine or rice shortages out of Asia or drought affecting beef production here in the United States. The U.S. Army veteran told Fox News that Americans need to understand that food distribution systems in the United States only have roughly 2 weeks worth of food at any given time. Hey, that's if that. As a result, he warned that if the food distribution system breaks down, food availability will drop to near zero, which is exactly what's going to happen. And it's also spoken of in the scriptures. That's it with that article. Now I'm going to go to 2nd Esdras chapter 6, start at 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. What these different croplands that these farmers sow their crops into. And what did that U.S. Army veteran just say? For example, Oslakia, right now, because people, once they started paying attention to the supply chain, they're able to connect the dots between, for example, the breadbasket in Ukraine or the rice shortages coming out of Asia or drought affecting beef productions here in the United States. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses, these grocery stores and other places people go to get their amenities from, shall suddenly be found empty. Supply chain disruptions, compounding effects from farmers' croplands being affected, so they're not able to produce a sufficient amount of crops to send to these stores. Back in that article. Distribution systems in the United States only have roughly 2 weeks worth of food at any given time. As a result, he warned that if the food distribution system breaks down, which it will, food availability will drop to near zero. And the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which, when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Verse 24, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Hey, the water's going to get cut off too. But what would cause friends, best friends, to fight, even brothers and sisters, family members, to fight one against another like enemies? Food shortages, famines. You really going to see that dog in people when their stomach starts touching their back, and it's the same for their loved ones. And it's either live or die, kill or be killed. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And the sword, especially in the United States of America, is going to be that gun, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, food insecurity, famines, and for great tribulation, sword, plagues, civil unrest, martial law, all these other calamities that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is bringing as judgment for the wickedness you people have been committing. But to you sincere Aki and Anakwat out there, we are not to have the spirit of fear when these things come, because we know that as long as we keep doing, what we can to stay in the good graces of our power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, being obedient, he's going to set up that hedge to protect us from these calamities. These calamities are mainly for the wicked, such as the famines. But I'm going to close it out in Isaiah chapter 65. I believe it starts at verse 13. This is Isaiah 65, verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Speaking of the elect, that again are doing whatever they can to stay in the good graces of their power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. It says that we, which Abaratazam of that number, shall eat and drink and rejoice. While who's that you? Hey, the wicked of our people who refuse to take heed to the words of the prophets and return to their power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. They are going to get caught up with these heathens that are going to starve, thirst, and lament for vexation of spirit. As it's about to say, behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and howl for vexation of spirit. Point blank, period. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal.